Well, SNAP is up in, what do we got? 28, 29, 30, 31, 4 days. 4 days to go. And the SNAP welfare program, EBT, food stamps, it's had many names over the course of the years, but it's all this handout program. 42 million people, they say, depend on SNAP and EBT to get their food for them and their kids. That's way too much. That is a program that has gone on way too long and without any other options. I cannot imagine that 10%, over 10% of the United States of America needs government assistance to survive. Can't believe it. Are they infirmed to the point where they can't work? I know a lot of handicapped people that work. They're handicapable. This, to me, and from what I've seen, it's generational welfare. It's families who have been on the take since the 1965 racial equality LBJ bullshit bill. And since that day forward, more and more people have decided them and their ancestors or whatever the ancestors that come after you are called, your kids and grandkids, they don't have to work anymore. They don't have to work. They got welfare, just like grandma had, just like mom had. Now you're getting it, and your kids will get it. And 42 million people are on it because there has been no other option. Whenever someone comes up with another option, hey, get a job. How about you work? Oh, now they're lazy. I tried to get a job. I couldn't get a job. That's why I need bullshit. Bullshit. What about all these jobs that are opening up because Mexicans are being deported? You know, all those jobs Americans won't do. Hey, if you take away people's SNAP benefits, I bet they'll get in that field and pick some cauliflower. I bet they'll pick them some cabbage for a few bucks. You'll get some American workers that'll do that. If the other option is you get nothing, it's not suspended until the government signs a bill to refinance SNAP. How about it's just gone? And if you want government assistance, you gotta prove that you are 100% incapable of working. And that doesn't mean because you have kids. Hi, this is Anthony Cumia.
Hello, I'm Gavin McInnes.
And together we're Compound Censored.
And we would like you to subscribe with this deal using this promo code right below me right now.
Do it, because it's very entertaining. If you're of healthy mind and body, and that could be a very low bar, you have to go out and work. And like I said, oh no, your oranges are going to be more expensive because you're deporting the only people that'll work. Yet why are Mexicans the only people that'll work those jobs? Because anyone lazy or unskilled that doesn't want to do those jobs, we just hand them money. We hand 42 million people money every month because they don't want to fucking work. There are jobs available. Mexicans will tell you while we're driving them home, they'll tell you that they had a job. Take that job, lazy ass. So here's another, I'll just play one, but know from me that these videos, they're all over right now, all over the internet right now. Tons and tons of black women saying they will steal. They will fucking steal if their benefits aren't reinstated by November 1st. Here's another one.
with the month of November coming and they saying everybody not getting a snap, y'all already know. Far as I'm saying, us, you know how us, our people, we not going
your
for that.
people.
Y'all already know how we give it up. Y'all already know. Y'all already know how the people coming though. I don't even know why y'all on here playing. For real, I just feel sorry for them stores like Walmart, Giants, Safeway, Shoppers. I just feel sorry for them stores. All I'm gonna say is y'all already know how shit is about to go down. So buckle up.
They're just flaunting it. They're just going on social media and making videos telling you that they are fucking going to start stealing. If they haven't been already, which they probably have been. First of all, they're thieves in that they're taking SNAP payments and EBT. So they're thieves already because they could work. And now they're telling you that they're going to go into Walmart and a bunch of these other stores and steal merchandise with even more, being even more emboldened by the fact that SNAP is cut off. So if anybody gets in their way, they are threatening violence against those people, more so than we've seen. Because now they're going to use the excuse of my kids. I got to feed my kids. I'll do anything for my kids. Yeah, will ya? Well, the black women, of course, aren't the only ones guilty of this, saying that they're going to steal on November 1st if SNAP isn't reinstated. White women are involved in this too. Not in the stealing part, in the justifying people stealing part. And obviously throwing blame around to white people that say they should get a job, people that say that they're lazy. And remember, these are families that have been on the till, the government till, for generations, decade upon decade, government check after government check for years and years with no stop. You can't look at and say, oh, it'll stop at this point. No stop in the future. Was that what I was going to say? So here she is, this liberal white woman, snot ring included. And she's saying that SNAP recipients, hey, they work harder than you do. Oh, yeah. Listen to her.
People on SNAP benefits are working harder than you. They are. Sorry. People who are actively living in poverty and receiving benefits are not lazy or just not working hard enough. I mean, this has literally been disproven time and time again. But even if we're not talking about data and we're just like looking at the basic facts, somebody who does not struggle to pay their rent every month is thinking less about that prospect. People love to act like where they ended up in life is just because they worked really hard. But the reality is that all of these people that aren't doing as well as you also worked really hard. You just ended up being luckier than them. Or you started out luckier. I ended up where I am today out of privilege and luck. And yes, some hard work. I run my own business. I don't make that much. But I also know that every single month I will have enough money to pay my rent, pay for groceries. But I also know that I am lazier and less hardworking than probably 98% of people who are getting benefits. Wanting people to suffer more because you just think that you did enough suffering is gross. That's all. People on SNAP benefits.
Ugh. Wow. There's a lot to peel back on that one. Holy shit. So she owns her own business. She doesn't make a lot of money, but she makes enough to pay the bills. That right there is 8,000 times more. You've done 8,000 times more than people that are getting SNAP benefits like that we're seeing that are threatening to steal. It has nothing to do with your privilege. Were you given a business? Was that woman handed a business by her grandfather? Generational wealth? You know, you got generational welfare. Was she privileged to have generational wealth like the Getty family or the Rockefellers? Because that's very rare. Or did she go to school? Did she decide she had an interest or something she wanted to start a business doing? And she did it. She went through all the hoops you got to go through to start a business and to keep it running. That's a very difficult thing, to make a business profitable. You can't just be lazy and sleep. You can't do that. You have to actually do something. And she's saying that she's lazier than 90% of the people. What would that be? 35 million people that are on SNAP getting benefits. I'm sure there are people getting government subsidy benefits because they have proven that they can't work, that their kids need food and money for clothing. And it's just an anomaly. That's an anomaly in America. America is set up in a way that, you like it or not, you get yourself a job, you earn some money, and you spend accordingly. If you're making a lot of money, you buy a house, you buy a car, you get married, you have some kids, whatever that is. If you're not making a lot of money, you rent a place, you get a shittier car, and you figure out a way to make more money so you can click up to that next notch. What you don't do is go on the government tit and never come off of it. And if you, like I said, if you do qualify for those benefits and you really need them, that is such a small percentage of people in this country. Disabled people, people with mental disabilities or physical, have the opportunity to work. There are jobs that are made for people that are physically or mentally impaired. So that's not an excuse. And most of these fucks, it's because they're fat. Big fatsos that can't work. They're literally disabled because some bureaucratic asshole decided that fat was a disability and they can't work. And the entitlement they feel for being fat. I can't work. I can't work. I disable. Disable, all right. You're a fucking elephant. So that's what 42 million people look like on government subsidy programs for food and whatnot. I don't know. And then the liberal fucking woman just lying. That's a fact. What's a fact? They're not as lazy as people that work every day, as people that get up and go to work every day, a real job for at least 8 hours a day, and then go home and now have to figure out how to budget that money that they've worked for and earned to pay for what them and their family needs. They're lazy. But the women we see with the fucking bonnets and the fake fucking boat rope hanging from their head and the nails and the jewelry, my gold jewelry, they're sitting on their ass. They're not taking care of their 8 kids. They just do it themselves. Make yourself a peanut butter sandwich and shut the fuck up. They're not working. They get up at noon, walk outside the front door of their project, start some trouble, maybe get in a fight. And then what? Back inside to some Hawaiian punch and fucking donuts that we are paying for. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. And this dumb liberal, she feels so bad. That's what happened, by the way. She's listened to so much fucking propaganda and bullshit that she feels guilty that she was able to make some type of success of her life in starting a business. A young woman starting up a business, and she can't even be proud of it. She can't even talk about how awesome she feels about herself to have achieved that. She has to shit on it because people told her that the only reason she has that is her white privilege, and she started the game 20 spaces ahead, and all that shit that white people are told over and over again. And if you're not fortunate enough to have lived in a time where we knew that was utter and complete bullshit, you're like her, young and dumb, just sitting there full of their propaganda on what a piece of shit you are for being successful. That's a goddamn shame right there. She's not a bad looking girl. She's obviously motivated. She pulls that snot ring out of her nose and pats herself on the back a couple of times for what she's accomplished as a person, not as a white person or anything else. Might have a good gal right there. But no, she got to look in the mirror and feel shame because some fucking lazy black bitch with 8 kids is eating all day after she gets up at 2 p.m. You got to feel bad about that? Dumb twat. You dumb twat. That's what she is, all right. Ear itches. Your ear itches? Yes, my ear. No, your ear. We get it, Anthony. We get it, Anthony. Oh, my God. And then, of course, we have Spirit Air once again. This is kind of like Black Thursday because I'm leaving for New York tomorrow. So, see, I don't want to let everyone in on the secret, but every day is Black Thursday on this show until something changes. You know, every so often, I'll pop in a video from 1951 about the women on the police department or an old PSA about driving, old commercials about cars and things like that. I'll talk about some of the comics from the O&A show like Bill Burr and what a lump of shit he's turned out to be. But until things really start changing, it's Black Thursday, pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And on Twitter, Friday, Saturday, Sunday also. I pull the reins back a little bit on my Sunday evening WABC radio show. But if you listen to the show now and listen to it when I started back in March, I've let the reins go and maybe jingled the spurs a couple of times, let the old horse know what direction we're going in. Because I'm tired of it. I'm fatigued. But I still feel I have to talk about this. Every single day I read a multitude of posts from people, DMs, texts that say, thank God, Anthony, you are saying what I cannot say. And, you know, we're getting closer to people being able to speak their mind about racial issues and Islam and fucking LGBTQ nonsense. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. And people like myself and Gavin McInnes, you know, Nick Fuentes, we've been canceled enough and to such a level that we've had to figure out a way to cobble together a platform that we can speak from. And we've done that, and we speak, and we talk about what we want to talk about and what we feel is important to talk about. And hearing from people that say, yeah, I can't say this. I like listening to you and hearing what you guys have to say about it. So, yeah. And then my WABC show is a lot of, you know, basically politics, what's going on in Washington and world events and things like that. But, you know, it's all intertwined with it. It's all intertwined with race and nonsense and bullshit going on in this country. So anyway, Spirit Air, an airline, I had to take Southwest once, and that's it. It was terrible. And, you know, I will not take a discount airline ever again. I'll never fly a discount airline again, Chief. So Spirit is probably the worst of the worst. It's Spirit, Frontier, Southwest, and Spirit is the worst. And there's always a brawl going on. I don't know what it is. But this guy, I mean, the pilot is out there, or the co-pilot. I couldn't tell if he had 3 or 4 stripes on his shirt. But one of the actual flight crew that flies the plane is out of the flight deck, which leads me to believe that this is happening on the ground. The text over the video says on the way from Las Vegas or somewhere, wherever it is. But I don't think they were in the air yet, because there's no fucking way there would be a disturbance in the cabin and they would open that fucking cockpit door and one of the flight crew would actually come out. I can't see that happening. But then again, it is Spirit. So who knows? Maybe that's part of the pilot's job also. You got to go out and break up. You got to be the bouncer of your plane. Let's watch. Maybe you could figure it out. Nashville to Vegas. The fucking pilot or first officer, co-pilot, has to get in between an unruly fucking big moose and the little flight attendant because he smacked her in the face. They have to be on the ground. And this guy's got to go. I don't even see why, unless the pilot or first officer was just walking on board and that was happening. I can't see them getting out of their seat. I would say shut the door and call the fucking security, airport security, and then the cops. The pilot shouldn't be involved in this. And he's got to get in between them and start trying to break up a fucking brawl between the flight attendant and a giant ape. Holy shit. Play that one more time, Sean, because I'm trying to see the shoulder epaulets there, I guess they're called, of the pilot. It could be 3.
I think I see 4 there.
Oh, 4? Look at me. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would assume it would be the pilot. He is the final word on the plane. But to go out... Pops. Holy shit. Fucking reaches over and pops her one. Whoa. There's Spirit. You know, you're taking a chance. You're taking a chance of getting a viral video. So there is an upside. Maybe if you go on Spirit and you just take Spirit Air, at some point you're going to get a great video that's going to get a lot of views. So I would say if you're a wannabe influencer and you want to start up some type of account on social media, fly Spirit. Eventually, you'll get a great video. And here's what you do. Record the whole fucking thing. Why do these videos stop? Why do these videos stop, Kramer? Why do they stop right when, the guy swings at the flight attendant, the pilot's in the way, and the clip ends? How does that happen? And never fucking put the camera below the seat because you're afraid they're going to see. Let them see. They're not going to get to you. It's going to be fine. They don't care. The flight crew don't care if you video it. Everyone videos now. So don't do that. Just record the whole goddamn thing and post the whole goddamn thing. You crazy assholes. You're not the greatest directors, you people. But you'll have a great viral video. You make some money off of it, and you're an internet superstar. How about that? How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? And here's a woman here that she says black women have never had to depend on the government. She doesn't like what's going on with this snap talk because it's implying that black women are sapping off the government. And if there's one thing black women have never done, it is use the government, need the government to give them stuff, because the government has been nothing but oppressive and kept things from black women, our queens. Talk to our black queens and princesses. They are a wealth of knowledge. Are they? All right, here's this woman saying that they've never had to depend on the government. Where the fuck did that come from?
I just wanted to come real fast just to make this video, just to make something very, very clear to the white man.
What a beauty.
Black Americans do not care about your government shutdown, and black Americans do not care about you taking away our EBT and our government assistance, because black Americans never depended on the American government to take care of us and feed us, because we never could. We were never able to depend on the government, in spite of what you may say and what you may try to force us to believe. So you can sit back and you can mock, you can laugh, and you can think that you're about to starve us to death. But I'm here to let you know that we are going to eat regardless, even if we have to hunt you animals down and roast and eat you. The delectable crackers and cheese. We will make it happen if we have to. Trust and believe me. And if it takes this government shutdown for black people to finally come from under the government and understand that we don't need to be paying our taxes into this government, what we really need to be doing is taking care of one another, buying land and growing our own food and building our own nation. If this government shutdown and starvation is what it's going to take, then let the party begin. It's Black Power, baby, and we rise.
All right. Have you seen some of the attempts that have been made for a black city or a black town? They get a bunch of people together, and then they try to buy land. Hold on. Oh, cock. And they try to buy land. Thank you. And make a black town. And it fails miserably from the word go. Like agenda number 1, fail miserably. So I don't know if that's going to happen. And the fact that they say, yeah, there it is. All black city in Georgia getting reality show. No, this was back in 2020. It never happened. And yeah, that is as far as it went. I think they tried to build one structure and then they just went, fuck it. And just gave up. This never works. It never works. And about paying your taxes, I would love to see the percentage of the United States taxes that black people pay into. It's, you're not paying taxes. Your incomes don't require you to pay taxes. So, stop paying your taxes. Yeah, go ahead. I heard also that they're not going to shop. Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, the big shopping day, they are boycotting it. Really? If that's the case, I can only predict the most peaceful, cordial Black Friday. Oh, there'll be some insane, obese white women, the prize of the men in the black community. But for the most part, oh, there's plenty of those televisions. You take one, I'll get the next one. Why, thank you. That's what Black Friday will be. Ironically enough, Black Friday will be a bunch of white people. But they won't do that either. I'm not insane here. Anytime things are said like we'll build this, we'll do this, we'll get our own wealth, we'll have our own businesses and our own communities, it doesn't happen.
What's your prediction?
Look at
what's your prediction? What's your prediction for is there going to be snap riots? What you got a prediction for it?
Yeah. I think on the 1st, if they don't get their snap, there'll be a big show of shoplifting, which is robbery. It'll be robbery. I think you'll see a lot of that the first week. Trump is going to put the kibosh on it really quickly. Or, Chuck Schumer has to come to the table and sign that CR, sign that budget that isn't connected to any of these liberal programs. That's what the Republicans have offered. Here's a bill. The only thing on it is reopening and financing the government. There's no health care stuff. There's no we got to pay for child care. There's no fucking illegals. It just reopens the government and starts paying people again. That's what the Republicans' offer is. Whenever the Democrats go, they aren't even coming to the table to talk to us about this. They've spoken. Here it is. No nonsense. And they will not fucking sign this. And then they call it the Republican shutdown, Trump's shutdown. How? How is it Trump's shutdown when he has the bill? And your bill has a bunch of nonsense in it. It's extortion. We will not refund and restart the government unless you give us these liberal programs. It's blackmail, extortion. The mob does that. And that's where we are. And that's why there won't be SNAP on November 1st if Chuck Schumer and company don't sign this CR bill. So that's where we're at. And I don't think people, Democrats especially, black Democrats really especially, understand that. All they care about is, wow, now we actually have an excuse, not just because we're thieving lumps of shit. We have an excuse. My children got to eat, to go in and steal. Maybe the few people that have looked and said, I'd love to go in there and steal something, but I don't want to be known as somebody that just goes in and steals. Maybe they're on that fence. Now, those fence sitters, they could just go, oh yeah, to eat? Now it's really allowed. And I will steal. I think that's what we're going to see. So that's kind of where we're at. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But, you depend on the government. You depended on the government since 1965. And it's never stopped. It's only gotten, you've only gotten more dependent for everything. Housing, food, jobs, all the government jobs that Biden handed out to minorities in his 4 years to try to make it look like he was the jobs president. Remember that? Every month or 3 months, they'd come out with the quarterly jobs numbers. Once again, more job, a good wage, good kitchen table conversations, a good wage, and jobs. And all he was doing was opening up the government wallet, putting 5 fat black women in a seat for a job that was meant for one person, and then go, look how many jobs. And then Trump comes in and forms Doge, and they take a quick look around and go, holy fuck, Biden was giving out government paychecks to people that were completely not necessary. And that's why a lot of the black spokespeople and pundits have been saying that Doge is causing the unemployment of a lot of black women. Well, why would that be? How could the government run if these essential black women are being fired because of Doge? Well, because they were wasteful, redundant jobs that were handed out by Biden to get black women job numbers up and to increase his job numbers, to drive down his unemployment numbers. Meanwhile, it's just taxpayer funded. It's like welfare. We're just paying with our taxes, and they're giving paychecks to minorities. That's what happened. So you've been depending on the government for quite some time. Let's not fucking bullshit anybody here. Want to start eating us? Crackers and cheese? It was funny. I've heard cracker a lot, but I haven't heard crackers and cheese. But yeah, do whatever you feel you have to do. Because I think if the Democrats don't sign this bill right either on or immediately after November 1st, and things do go a little sideways, Trump will crack down on this shit. He will crack down on it. You will see local law enforcement, state police, the National Guard will start going into these cities and standing armed guards in front of places that are being pillaged, like Walmarts and things like that. So do what you feel you have to do. If you feel you have to rob, resort to violence in order to get out of the store with the goods you didn't pay for, punch people, eat white people like that woman, a big cast iron pot over a fire like Bugs Bunny. Yeah, do it up. Do whatever you feel you got to do. Besides, something outrageous like getting a fucking job and working and supporting yourself and your kids. So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.